Today's episode of The Mom Game is brought to you by our friends at Gateway Buick GMC at LBJ and Jupiter. I know that buying a car can be stressful, but not at Gateway because their slogan is Gateway's got it. And just what does that mean? Well, it means Gateway's got a wide selection of new Buicks, GMCs, and GM certified used vehicles, all competitively priced. Gateway's got it. In these busy times, you want a dealer who makes things easy and convenient. Well, guess what? Gateway's got it. When you log on to gatewaybuickgmc.com, look for the Shop, Click, Drive button. This allows you to shop from the comfort of your home, and who doesn't want that? In fact, it's easy as 1, 2, 3. 1, select your vehicle. 2, create your offer. 3, schedule your delivery. And on top of all this, Gateway Buick GMC offers complimentary car washes for life. I can attest to this. I take advantage of it every time I go there. So when you want a dealer who has it all, Gateway's got it. You can find them online at gatewaybuickgmc.com or shop in person at LBJ and Jupiter. GMC, we are professional grade. Experience the new Buick. And welcome to episode 45 of The Mom Game. 45 is a round number.
It's a good one. We better make this one good.
It's older than me.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's a new era where our shows are older than you.
It's so funny when we talk about what we're going to do on the show, which usually takes place like 10 minutes before we actually start recording the show.
Tell everybody.
Right. I'll let everyone in on our secrets. But we had a quote board the other day that our brilliant graphic designer, Adam Hernandez, our graphic designer, social media, whatever he is, our Yoda, our social media Yoda.
He's everything.
Adam Hernandez came up with that took a quote, I don't know if it was yours or mine, that said, "We're random AF."
That was me.
And we are. And I think today's show is going to be like the epitome of like all the randomness. We're going to talk about like COVID. We're going to talk about sports. We're going to talk about cancer. We're going to talk about cookies. Like we're going to have more. We're going to talk mortgages.
You're not exaggerating. That's literally what our rundown is.
We're talking everything
for the day.
So as we always do, you are my fearless leader when it comes to this podcast, and I tell you all the time. You're steering this ship.
Well, okay, that's always scary when anybody gives me control.
Where's Mark?
And
Jay, our producer, message Mark. Tell him Julie's already low on the wine.
I'm low in. Okay, a real quick aside.
What?
I had the worst hangover Sunday.
Oh no!
From a date night.
What did you do?
And I didn't even mean to talk about it, but I'm shocked by it. It was a shockingly bad hangover.
What did you drink?
I drank a vodka soda, which was too strong.
Okay.
And I didn't order it strong. I asked for more soda and more lemon.
To dilute it. Okay.
Yes. And then a few glasses of wine. We got a bottle at dinner with my husband. It was no big deal. And I woke up like, no big deal.
You're one vodka soda and 2 glasses of wine?
No, I said a few.
Okay.
But it was like 3 hours. Okay, right. I didn't even. But we got a bottle, right? We were like,
right, but that's 2 glasses each.
Exactly. Okay, so then I only had 2. If a bottle's 2, then I only had 2 plus 1.
You had a vodka soda and 2 glasses of wine.
Yes.
Girl, we got to work on your tolerance.
Well, I know. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
You don't. Okay.
Something's changed.
Let me tell you something.
This is getting old.
Let me tell you something. No, that's a good thing. Congratulations. You should be proud of yourself. The fact that you had 3 drinks and you had a hangover.
No, a vodka soda and 3 glasses of wine.
Okay. So it keeps going up. Like, I needed to find you keep moving.
I said a few. A few is 3.
If you split a bottle
and
of
then
wine.
We had 1 more. See, this is how it went. Kelly's like, let's just get 1 more. So in my mind, when I'm retelling the story, like it's the same problem. It's like someone says, just keep going. And I keep going. I still feel like I shouldn't have been as sick as I was. I mean, Emily.
Were you dying?
I was dying. It was a game day.
Were you puking?
I was puking.
No!
I woke up on the couch at 2 a.m.
Oh, no.
My damn wedding ring was stuck on my finger.
Oh, the sausage fingers. You had the sausage fingers.
Yes. I never wake up on the couch. I'm just shocked by the whole thing. I'm a little distraught because I just feel like I should not have been that hungover.
Okay, where did
Is this
Kelly
a COVID thing?
Yeah. That's it. Let's
What
blame
is
COVID.
wrong with-
Everything's COVID right now. Let's just blame it on COVID.
Let's do.
I feel like this is a golden time. No, that's a terrible word to use. I feel like this is a time in our lives that when shit happens, we can just be like, I mean, this was during the pandemic.
This is a symptom of COVID, apparently.
No, I don't think it's all you have to do is be like, but COVID.
But
we're in the pandy. Like, it's just, these are hard times.
Yes.
Alcohol affects me differently.
It did.
Yeah. I think you just, yeah. First of all, I admire you for talking about this.
Well, I shouldn't have.
No, why?
I don't know.
It happens.
I don't want to be judged.
You mean to make you feel better?
Yes.
I was slightly hungover on Saturday too. On Sunday.
Okay,
So
good. We should have called each other.
We should have. And then this is going to sound like a plug for
Okay,
my
good.
wine business, but I think it's because I drank
something else.
I drank mass-produced wine. I drank wine that was not the wine that I'm used to drinking. So it wasn't like I had an inordinate amount, but I think the way that I felt the next morning. Yeah. And but it wasn't, I wasn't puking, but not trying to make you, let me tell you something. I used to be a puker. And that's also embarrassing, but you know what? F it. That was a long time ago. And I don't care. There are people who toilet hug and they don't want to talk about it and they're embarrassed and we're making you feel better.
To everybody.
It does. And we're making you feel better.
It used to be like kind of a badge of honor when you were younger.
Oh, what is that? What is it, like puke and rally or whatever?
Embarrassing. As an adult and as a mom.
It
like,
is.
And I was just shaming myself the whole day. I was alone all day on Sunday because it was a game day.
Oh, that's the worst.
You feel like a terrible parent.
Sorry.
I'm
sorry.
The kids actually let me sleep a little bit and they watched a movie and then I didn't get my shit together till 5 p.m.
I'm sorry.
And even then.
But let me tell you something. Grant yourself grace, okay? Shit happens every once in a while. Now, if you were doing this every night, every weekend, I'd be worried.
Exactly.
It happens every once in a while.
Well,
and you know what? F you to the people who are going to judge and do whatever. I don't
was
care.
just shocked. I was shocked. I've never had a shockingly bad
it would be one thing if you're like, I was hopped up on pills and I had 3 bottles of wine. Like
I went to the club and partied till 2 a.m.
Oh, yes.
You earned that shit.
Tore it
but
up.
when it just sneaks up with you from a GD date night with your husband.
Okay.
It's embarrassing.
I want you to know, you need to grant yourself grace. There's no judgment here. No one will. I will defend your honor.
Well, thank you.
You will not be judged.
Thank
for this.
you.
And I admire you for sharing.
Well,
because you know how many women and men woke up hungover on Sunday morning and tried to play that shit off like they weren't. There's a lot of them.
Okay, well, I'm owning it and I'm putting it out into the world and I'm not going to be embarrassed anymore. So thank you for your pep talk.
No.
The only reason I even said anything is because that's the reason I told Mark. I told Mark.
Did you text him?
No, I don't need more.
Oh, you don't.
This is my first drink since then.
Oh, so this is
since Saturday.
God, we're old. Yeah, it happens like that.
And before today, I told myself I was going to have a dry the rest of January.
Oh, so 5 days, 6. Yeah, that's whatever.
I haven't heard anybody claim a dry the rest of January.
Dry the rest of January.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Anyways, now that we've gotten that out of the way.
I'm glad you shared.
And
you did text Mark and tell him not, because I was about to blow him up and be like, dude,
well,
did you
if he decides to walk in here, I will have some.
Okay.
I won't be mad. So anyway, all of those things you said that are going to be on the show were true.
Yes.
So
let's run through them.
So let's do a little bit of sports squirting.
Sports squirts.
Before we get any further. Guys, squirter.
Saturday coming all back.
Sports squirt. I'm making everything sound like
sports
the word.
Sports.
Yes.
Okay.
So, let's start with
the Stars.
Let's start with the Stars. So, yes.
They're good at hockey.
Yes, they have been really good in their first 2 games coming out of the gates.
I hear the power play is really
The power
clicking.
play's on fire. Did you hear a certain ticker person telling you that all day long today?
Man advantage.
Yes, with the man advantage. I've learned not to call it a PP because no one can handle that.
No.
So yeah, night 1 was Friday night. The Stars welcomed the Nashville Predators to town. I went with the 2 kids. Because the Stars are allowing up to 5,000 fans in the building, which I think is great personally because the team needs it. The organization needs it. They need the money coming in. The franchise, as you can imagine, wasn't doing great prior to this and is not doing well, after having to play their whole, second half of the season in a bubble where they did go to the Stanley Cup final, and it's just like, oh gosh, a missed opportunity there with all of the butts that you could have had in seats throughout that playoff run. So I'm glad they're getting some fans in there, and the fans want it. The fans are so proud of this team for going all the way to the Stanley Cup final, and they wanted to celebrate them and cheer for them. The players, I think, loved it. The players even said after game one, that made a huge difference in our game. Yeah. Like when you score a power play goal and then all of a sudden you get another power play and it just elevates it, to hear the fans. Yeah, after playing all the way, as far as they did last season with 0 fans. So I felt like everything was done really well. It was very safe. I was never around a ton of people. They're putting the families up in suites, which is great, which is nice. And that's also helpful for kids running around. But yeah, the team looked really good. Joe Pavelski leading the way. He was really good in the bubble for the team. And I think he's really hitting his stride now in his second year. Now just feeling adjusted. I think his family's adjusted to Dallas, and that makes a difference.
Huge.
You know how it is.
People underestimate that kind of stuff.
I know.
When your home life is jiving, you bring that to work. Whether you're a secretary, a sportscaster, a professional athlete.
Yep.
All that shit goes hand in hand.
Yep. Whatever. Sure. Yeah. Whatever it is. I mean, it makes a difference. So he was leading the way. There's no Tyler Seguin for a couple of months, which I'm hoping when he does come back, it'll just be like a hell yeah, we have Tyler Seguin back.
Like a trade deadline acquisition.
Yes, exactly. And not like something where we're like, oh my God, we're dying without him kind of deal like the Mavs are doing right now, not to jump into another team just yet. But the Stars looked great, 7-0 on opening night. Anton Hudobin looked amazing in net. He's technically not the starter, so anytime your backup can have a night like he did, it's really motivating and inspiring to the rest of the team. And then Sunday they won again. They beat Nashville again, 3-2, because the way they're doing the schedule now is like little pairs of games. So Smart. Nashville comes to town. They stay here for a while. When the Stars go somewhere, they'll play a couple of games and stay somewhere for a while to cut down on the amount of travel and that kind of thing. So that was a closer game. So it was kind of fun because you were counting down at the last second. I was home. I didn't go to that one.
Yeah, I watched that one.
Yeah. You're watching all of them. I mean, you used to cover the Stars. I'm acting like,
well, I mean,
you were out there on the ice doing interviews with Marty Turco. I remember.
I was, but let me tell you something. I didn't know jack shit about hockey. And I own that going in. I was raised I just didn't know anything.
Yeah. But you learn. You teach yourself.
Well, I learned the basics. Yeah. I mean, but I would never attempt to speak about hockey, other than like man advantage. I feel like that's like
how about that?
Man advantage. But no, I didn't know jack about hockey.
Well,
and he actually used to piss Daryl Razor Ray. Used to piss him off, and not piss him off, but he'd be like annoyed. Like, and I get it. Like, he's a serious hockey dude. I didn't know jack about it, but I would do like 5 games a year. And then Craig Ludwig, who's fucking so laid back, and I'd be like, Luddy, he's like, I got you, Em. And I'm like, I'm just gonna, toss it up there and make you look really smart. And he's like, I got this. Like, he was the best. So anyway, yes, but I am when a team like that, especially when it's a team in your town, it's your team.
Yeah.
So I've never really been a big hockey girl, but like I'm Dallas Fort Worth. I'm in. Like I'm all in on all our local teams. So I'm in on the Stars.
Okay,
and then
good.
when they go on a run like they did last year, especially when we were going through what we were going through, like I was living and dying by every possession.
It gave everybody something to cheer for, something to get excited about.
And then you get to know those guys. And then you're like, or at least through TV. And then you're like, okay, I'm totally in. What's that kid's name? I get so happy every time you say his name.
Which
it's like
one?
It's a kid who's like, his name is like
Yoel Kiviranta?
Yes.
Yoel Kiviranta.
Yes.
I have to say it like that.
Yes. I love it. I mean, obviously I love Anton Hudobin. Like, we're not going home. Like, I'm like, I love this. Like, I love this.
And Tyler and his girlfriend.
Of course.
Now.
Duh. I mean,
and Ben Bishop.
Besties.
Yes. Totally besties.
Yeah. Oh, no, I'm in. I'm
okay,
all in
good. Well, that makes me excited. So you'll be watching tonight.
I will be watching
and
tonight.
Thursday night.
If I can make it back in traffic. Yes. No, I'll be watching. There's nothing else to watch. And I'm not watching The Effing Bachelor. I tried that last night. It's so brutal.
You did?
The hot air balloon.
I was going to talk about it with you. Because I was going to say this season's better than The Bachelorette.
Okay, hold on. Let's finish sports scores.
Okay.
Cowboys still can't reach a deal with Dak Prescott, and so on and so on. Mavericks, COVID is hopefully coming to a close, but they have sucked when COVID has hit the team.
Yep. They're getting guys back.
They're getting guys back.
Tomorrow.
Hopefully this is going to get better. Rangers. Now
Rangers.
MLB, we're dealing with this whole, now the pissing contest has started and it's starting to leak out, and it's not a good look for baseball. It's not a good look for our game, and it makes me cringe. I'm like, y'all need to figure this out behind the scenes.
Right. Like do a Zoom
We're
call.
the only, we had this whole public display last time. Like, let's not do it again. And so it's like no DH, they declined that. You know, the owners said no DH, expanded playoffs. Like they're going back and forth. The owners want to start the season a month later, maybe reduce the season by the number of games so they can save money. Players obviously want to start on time and, you know, want to have a 162 game season. And so it's just, we're starting to see this slow build of a battle.
Like, you know,
on
it's
our
eventually
hands.
going to come to an head.
And then what's so funny to me is, so the Cactus League, which is where the Rangers play spring training, 15 teams train in Arizona, and they come out with we highly recommend, because of the intense COVID cases in our county, that we don't start spring training.
They're kind of like highbrow about it.
Meanwhile, the Coyotes are playing
I know.
in an indoor facility with fans.
Because Amanda Goligoski's posting about it. Alex Goligoski's wife.
And so did
the
Arizona Cardinals in the NFL. Like,
right.
Come on, man.
Why are they? It's all politics.
It's political.
It's political.
You know how I love politics. I love politics so much. Okay, so that's
unfortunate, because you have to feel like the league at that point, when you have, and they had like all the mayors sign the official letter.
Yeah.
How does the league say, like, no, we must forge on.
I mean,
we don't care about your high numbers. That makes, they're going to have to delay it.
Not necessarily, because you hope that people will recognize the fact that that's total, like, you're trying to be like safety. Okay, what about the safety of the 5,000 fans?
So then we have a battle between MLB and Arizona on top of a battle between MLB and the players?
Honestly, I think that was total window dressing, and
Really?
I think it was a PR. It's just
so you don't think it'll get
PR
delayed
stunt.
because of that?
I mean, how can you say no spring training in an outdoor
know.
or whatever
It makes sense.
with limited fans, but then you're going to allow 5,000 in a Coyotes game?
I don't know.
That's their mascot, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're the
Making
Coyotes.
sure.
You're killing
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Slang hockey. I am all over the NHL.
You are.
Yeah.
Well, I saw that and I immediately thought of you, obviously, because it affects your
I will say though,
schedule.
like, let me be, God, I can't get this microphone. Let me be frank though, like, I still don't have my spring training dates. I still don't know when I'm going, which means that we're not absolutely certain that this whole ship's going to set sail on time.
There has to be an underlying feeling, like, if it's not the arguing, it's the COVID, and it's something that will, like,
But I'm like, dude, we can't
delay
do
the
this
season
again. Yeah.
Granted, this leads into a little bit of vaccination talk, because
Okay, let's end sports courts.
Okay, was
Sports
there anything
court.
else with sports courts?
No.
You just wanted to close it?
I mean, it's OCD. I feel like we need to close it.
Okay, how are you going to?
Sports courts complete. Okay.
Okay, can we
talk
move
COVID.
Can we move
yeah.
on? Now that we've wrapped that up with a bow. So I say it flows into vaccination talk because I feel like inevitably athletes are going to be getting vaccinated sooner rather than later. And it's starting to get to that point where, hopefully most of the Gen Pop is either starting to get vaccinated, knows when they can get vaccinated, and it's going to start happening, right? So it's somewhere in there. I think that these leagues are going to find a way
to make it happen.
To make it happen for their players so they can play on right now.
Well, I think the only problem that you have, when you had the testing, I remember that, like, there was the MLB was going to donate testing, like, match 1-for-1 every test when the testing was limited.
Yep.
The only problem with the vaccine is, I wonder, is there enough supply to do something like that?
Right. Probably not
doesn't
yet.
Seem there is.
Not yet, but
right.
I'm thinking prior to baseball.
And at what point will it be? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I think that's absolutely something that's feasible once that supply becomes enough. And I just don't think it's enough right now, where that's not an option. Whereas with the testing, they could do that. And they could say, I don't want to say save face, but do the right thing by saying, we realize we're taking these away, but we're not going to take them away. We're going to match 1-for-1. So it's going to be nothing different. We're going to do it all privately and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
And I just don't know that that's even feasible at this point in time with that vaccine.
We do have a new magical president, so maybe things will just...
I know, fucking magical politics. Like,
so maybe things will get better.
I know.
Who knows? I do like the idea Mark Cuban's mentioned and the NFL is doing, where they're going... So the Super Bowl is going to have I don't know, like 5,000 or something
Yeah.
vaccinated healthcare workers. I love that.
Which is super cool.
I love that. Maybe they're just trying
Right.
to look
Okay.
good, put on a show, but whatever. That's
So
great for them.
It's awesome. And so let me ask you this. Do you know of anyone that's gotten the vaccine that's like our age and my age or your age? We're not the same.
We're close.
Yeah, like what, 8-10 years?
No.
That's healthy, doesn't have any underlying conditions,
No.
and has gotten the vaccine. So I know a few, and it's
You do?
and they got pull the curtain back. My mom had registered, we were ready for her to get it, and everyone, my father-in-law got vaccinated, my mother-in-law, everybody. I was like, why is my mom what's happening? Like, we registered her, and then I'm hearing oh yeah, so and so he showed up somewhere and got the vaccine. I'm like, oh, okay. And then I just was like, wait, what about my mom?
Right.
Like, she's 73 and she really wants it. Like, can we make something happen? And so anyway, but I will say this.
Here's our enabler.
Mark. No, it's my fault. I texted him. It's my fault. He's not.
Okay,
He is our enabler.
Just a tad for me.
He
I don't
is,
want
but
to get sick.
he's the best kind of enabler.
Thank you.
You're the best, Mark. So I felt okay. So I say this with it's a whole story I'm going with. So yes, I do know people that I guess you could say I don't know. I don't want to say cut in line, but yeah, they got it probably sooner than they should have. I don't know the circumstances. Maybe it was I don't know. But
They knew someone who knew someone.
right. But I did register. So I did register, and I registered back on January 3rd because my best friend Lisa, who her mom is super on everything. She was the first person I knew that got vaccinated. And then Lisa registered, sent me the link and said, your mom, blah, blah, blah. So I get my mom registered, and then I'm like, well, I'm going to register too. But then I think about what if they email? So what happens is my mom got hers on Friday. They emailed her the night before at 8:30. So I think they don't know till the night before how much supply
And
they're
then you
going to
just have to drop everything and go
So
when they tell you.
She was supposed to work and she was frantic and she was like, what do I do? And I'm like, you tell them you're not coming to work tomorrow. Yeah. I was like, you are getting this.
I think most
vaccine.
workplaces would want you to be.
And she is kind of in health. She's not in healthcare, but she cares for elderly people. So she kind of, she's not
she should be.
She's not a frontline worker by any stretch.
Yeah.
She's 73. She wants the vaccine.
Yeah.
She's been very careful, whatever. And I said, you're absolutely going to get the vaccine. So I took her the next morning and we kind of documented the whole process. And we showed up. So they open at 9. Her appointment was from 9 to 11. So we get there at 8:15. I'm like, we're going to be in line.
Where'd you go?
It was the Bob Bolin Center in Fort Worth.
Okay.
And so we show up at 8:15. The line actually started moving at 8:40. We were 5th in line at 8:15. And they weren't supposed to open until 9. Open at 8:40. We were out the door by 9:15. It was a seamless transition.
Good. Those are great stories to hear.
Fort Worth firefighters were giving the injections.
Heck yeah, that's awesome.
And, my mom was totally playing it up.
Oh, I bet.
Oh yeah, it was hilarious. But I'm so glad that she did it. I'm so glad that this process is rolling. But I do wonder, like I said, going back to my feelings of guilt, because I said I was so butthurt at those people who got the vaccine that were young and healthy before my mom. Yeah. Now that she's gotten it, this is being totally honest. I'm not so butthurt. I'm like, okay,
right.
Because the people
There's
I know.
the people you're worried about.
Well, the people I know that want to get it, if I heard of someone else that really wanted to get it and they weren't able to, then I would feel more impassioned. But the people that are in my life that want to get the vaccine and they're older and at risk have gotten it. Yep. And so I do feel a sense of relief. Mm-hmm. But it does worry me that there are so many people, and I texted with the head of our Texas Rangers Baseball Foundation about how do we help because I feel like so many people don't know how to get it. Yep. And I texted Karen and I was like, Karen, what do we do? How can we help get the word out? Can we send, because my kids are in elementary school and I'm like, can we work through the schools to send something home with the kids so the parents will read it? Because not every parent
they're not all online all the time.
You want to think about that. People aren't on Twitter, reading your links.
The people that really need it probably are not.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. And that you're not checking your email, twice a day.
Yep. So my mom got it as well. She's 65, so she was in that tier. And from what she said, It sounds kind of like the testing where you have to be determined to find it.
Yeah.
You have to like kind of be a bull on it and like say, where do I need to go? And if this didn't work, try here. And if this didn't work, try here. She had like a friend that figured out a link that was working. So she sent it to her. And then my mom kept refreshing. Got an appointment from my stepdad. And then hers was a couple days later. She went with him and was like, hey, I'm here. Is there any way? Blah, blah, blah. And they gave it to her. Down in Austin. So that wasn't here in Dallas. But I think you just have to like be persistent. And some people aren't, some people, they don't know what to do. So
Well,
you're right. It's about the messaging and getting the message out.
And that's exactly why I went with my mom.
Yeah.
And it's nothing, I don't think my mom's not capable, but I was like, you're
Right.
getting this.
You will get shit done.
I will pick you up at 8 in the morning and we will go and we will get this. Because I was worried about a long line and how, all that kind of stuff. It wasn't the case. I was pleasantly surprised. And she'll go by herself for the second dose. But I was like, we're not risking this. You have a chance to get this. We're absolutely doing it.
Yep.
Also, I agree. Not everyone wants it.
Right.
Awesome.
That's fine.
Totally kick ass. Like I've said a million times on the show, 6 months ago, I was like, I'm not getting no vaccine. Like, what are you talking about? Oh,
well,
I told
you were just like, you wanted to know more about it.
No, I was like, what? Oh, you think I want a third nipple? Blah, blah. I was totally out.
Yeah.
And now I think, like we were talking with our wine delivery boy, Mark, about it. Like, and I don't even know that it's that I believe in I do believe in science, and I feel like I do think it's helpful. I don't think it's going to hurt. But at this time, I've got such COVID fatigue that I'm like, if you told me to stand on my head, if I stood on my head for 10 minutes every day, I would do it.
Yeah.
But it would help end COVID faster. I'd be like, okay, I'm in.
Right.
And it brings me to what's kind of funny. When I put all the stuff on social media about my mom, I got a message from this guy that called me a sheep.
Oh,
yeah. Sheep for getting that
so
vaccine.
You're a sheep if you wear a mask, and you're a sheep if you get the vaccine. You're always going to be a sheep
and if you stand
not
on
doing what they want you to do.
And if you're standing on your head for 10 minutes a day to get rid of COVID, you're a sheep. And if you know what, if that makes me a sheep, then bah. Like, I don't give
I'm with you.
two shits.
I'll do it too.
Yes, I'll wear a mask.
Oh my God, this is the only way out of this thing.
I'll wear a mask. I'll wear a hazmat suit. I'll stand on my head for 10 minutes every day. I'll get a COVID vaccine. Anything short of like harming my children at this point, I will do.
Yep.
And you know what? And who knows what all actually helps and what all actually is going to get us there. But at this point in time, I will do whatever the F it takes to get there. And if you want to shoot me in my arm or make me stand on my head or wear a mask, I don't care.
Yep.
And if that makes me a sheep, then kick ass.
Then let's do it. Especially when the CDC and everybody's saying it's safe. That's the main thing. It's not like we're doing something that's totally crazy and unsafe.
Right. And if it gives me a third nipple, then I'll have taken one for the team.
Well, I don't know. Like, no one will know. Mike loves you no matter what. If we're talking about nipples, then I could talk about nipples. and so whatever.
Such a great
transition. Whatever it takes. I'm proud of your mom. Okay, so that brings us around to one time we had discussions about your mom and perhaps setting her up with somebody. Are there any updates there?
So there's not. We did get some loose inquiries.
Okay,
I'll call them,
but nothing
substantial. I feel like we didn't have
We didn't. It wasn't proper.
Was Adam on our team at that point in time?
No.
I don't think so.
Or he didn't know about this.
I feel like Adam would have really embraced that moment.
And we've got more.
And we totally dropped the ball on it. But yes, so we've talked about from the beginning of this podcast that we want to be a community. We want to be people that you sit down, have a glass of wine with, take a walk with, let us, whatever, fill your ears.
Talk about what's on your mind.
With all kinds of random stuff.
Tell us if you had some shockingly bad hangover lately. If you've gotten the vaccine, if you have questions about the vaccine, we just want to be here for you guys.
And we've also said we're random AF. Like this is us. I mean, we've run the gamut today, and it's our show. And so if something comes across our desk that we love, like these cookies called Basic Batter. So, I thought this is a perfect opportunity.
It is.
So this is a company called Basic Batter. Sweet Family has been trying to drop us off cookies, gluten-free for Julie. to us for literally weeks. And then COVID hit Julie and COVID hit my house, and we just have never been able to make it happen. And so these people have been super, super supportive of us and super sweet. And listen, if you make us effing cookies and you bring them up here, we're going to talk about it.
We're going to talk about it.
And so anyway, we'll make a post about it on our Instagram and on our social media. But it's so called info@basicbatter.com. But I had a chocolate chip already and it was legit. So anyway, like we talked about, wanting to build a community, wanting to help people, wanting to, do things that speak to us personally. And so there was something that came across your desk that spoke to you personally, and we are going to reveal what that was after this quick break. And guys, that we have a new sponsor here on the Mom Game, and I happen to know him very well. I actually share a bed with him. It is Mike McCoy and the McCoy team at Affiliated Bank Mortgage. The world around us is crazy and unsettled right now for all of us. So whether you're wanting to stay put in your current home or wanting a change of pace, the McCoy team is here to help. Getting pre-qualified before you are ready to sell and purchase is always the first step in the process. Interest rates are at an all-time low, which means now is the perfect time to buy or refinance. There are a lot of mortgage companies that will sift you through their automated processes, but that's not the way the McCoy team operates. When you call, email, text Mike or his team, you get an actual human on the other end, answering your questions and setting you up with honest answers and guidance. I know because I live with this man and he is constantly on his cell phone. Mike and his team operate in full disclosure, much like me, and will get you prepared for any purchase or refinance. Here's the deal, though. He's not going to get you in over his skis. If you can't afford a new purchase or refi, he's not going to recommend it. I know it may sound cheesy and I know I'm biased, but my dude will take good care of you. This is his thing and he takes great pride in it, and I am super proud of him and his team. So give him a holler, 817-987-2200, or schedule a free no obligation consultation at McCoyTeamMortgage.com. And I am required to say this, he said, NMLS number 402132, equal housing lender. And I will tell you this, Julie, he told me we've got to bring him at least a couple more customers or he's going to stop his. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, no.
I'm totally kidding.
Well, there's no reason not to.
No,
they're amazing.
He already has gotten a couple of clients from this, and it's the perfect time to refinance. It's the first time.
We
perfect
did
time
it.
To buy.
I would do it over again in a heartbeat. Not only because it put more cash in our bank account, which we need, because personally we're trying to redo our kitchen. So that's going to help us do that. Plus, you just feel like you're working with people who A, are really on top of their game, and B, care a lot. Can I tell you that I mentioned the good thank you gifts that he has sent? Ooh. I got one more the other day. It was a stamp with our address on it to put up in the, in the corner of an envelope if you're doing Christmas cards or whatever. And I've never had one of those.
So fancy.
I was so excited. They just think of all the little things and they'll help you get your finances to where you want them to be.
Well, I hope you had a great experience.
Oh, of course I did. And if anybody's thinking about refinancing, call them. If you're not thinking about refinancing, tell your husband or your wife after you watch this, hey, let's check it out. Because
rates are super low. Yeah.
You'll be really glad that you did. It's like free money,
I know. Holler at my dude. He'll take good care of you.
Holler at the McCoy team. Okay, we will be right back with our special guest for the day. All right, we have another sponsor that we have to give a little bit of love to now at this point in the show, and then we will welcome in a guest for the rest of the way. Your health and safety are a top priority at Baylor Scott & White, All Saints Medical Center, Fort Worth, Joan Katz Cancer Resource Center. If you need to visit the cancer center or the hospital, their commitment to serving you safely has never been stronger, which is, of course, very important right now. With enhanced cleaning, touch-free protocols, patient screening, virtual waiting, and more, you can stay safe while getting the care that you need. Visit bswhealth.com/Fort Worth to find out more. I'm so glad to have them on board with us here on the Mom Game. They're doing great things. Check them out. That's the place to go to for all of your health screenings that we all need, ladies or gentlemen. And we all got to stay on top of that stuff.
They took good care of you.
They did take good care of me. It was the Baylor Scott & White Downtown Center. But they took very good care of me. Thank goodness.
Yes.
Okay, so we've talked about, and we kind of teased this a little bit, just the community that we want to have here on the Mom Game. And we've never done something like this yet. But I wanted to bring somebody on whose story that I heard that really kind of struck me, and just thought that we could have a little visit and maybe a little heart-to-heart conversation and also have some fun. So as you all know, listening, I work at the Ticket, and it is full of dudes. It is full of dudes that are total goofballs. They do some crazy things. One of the crazy things they do is they have this section of the day called Why Today Doesn't Suck, where the two shows merge at 3:00 and people write in and tell them if it's their birthday. And sometimes they'll get a birthday shout out. They often have to include a photo of themselves or their wife.
Can I tell you something right fast? Just not to interrupt, but
Yeah.
to interrupt.
Yeah.
Hattie McCoy, my daughter, is like, can they say my birthday on the radio?
Shut up.
And I was like, yeah, I mean, when it's your birthday. And I was like, if you remind me,
Please do.
I'll email and see if you, and she was like, because I want to be famous. And I was like, oh shit.
She takes after her mama. She sees
like,
you doing all this stuff.
yeah.
She's like, I want some of the limelight.
Boy, does she want it. So trust me.
Okay,
around
please
June,
don't
June
send
8th,
her picture.
No, God, no. Oh Lord, she's 7, and there won't be a picture of mom either. Thank you very much.
Well, we all know what you look like.
Yeah. So
anyways, I came across this email, and I'm going to read it, and then we're going to welcome Crystal on. So this is an email that I got the other day, and it says, "My name is Crystal Sample Mayerchuk," and she can correct me if I'm wrong here in the pronunciation. She said, "To clarify, since Mina was confused last time I asked, I'm turning 34 years old. Last year's shout out, I bragged about being a 2-time cancer survivor. However, it looks like we're going for a three-peat, since in the week leading into my birthday, I found the, quote, innocent, slow-growing tumor on my spine that was discovered 4 years ago has now had bone marrow changes. Within a couple of days of that news and just days before my birthday, my significant other of 3 years randomly decided he no longer wanted to be a significant other." Which is total BS. I guess the first red flag should have been that he was a fan instead of a P1, which means he didn't listen to the ticket. So yes, that is a red flag. It's safe to say I most definitely won't be woken up in that special way, which is a joke that we talk about on the ticket. And then blah, blah, blah. She talked about her drops that she wanted to hear. And she told the guys, and they didn't take advantage of this. And so I thought that we would. She said, "If you decided to create a matchmaking segment, I'm down with being the first bachelorette."
So here we are. Not exactly a bachelorette format.
No, and it's not Why Today Doesn't Suck, and we are not Corby and Bob and Jake and Dan, but hopefully you're okay chatting with Emily and I. Crystal, welcome to the Mom Game. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for following up and challenging me on this.
Yeah.
Get all the way through.
No worries.
So I always want to know I love when people share their stories. But what made you want to share your story? Did you feel like it's therapeutic, isn't it?
Yes. So as you touched on, you are afraid of asking too many questions, and more often than not, the person that's actually sick feels like they talk about it too much or with too many of their friends. So it's kind of a catch-22. You don't want to feel like you're constantly bringing everyone down or bringing moods down, but at the same time, your entire life kind of centers around this one thing for a good period anyways.
So it's consuming for you. I mean, obviously.
Yep.
So we just met you. So anything you're not comfortable answering or whatever, just tell us to
just saying
zip it.
No comment.
Yeah, no comment. Right. We got it. But where are you right now because I don't know when that email was written, but where are you now in your treatment and your assessment? Like, how can we help?
Well, I'm at UT Southwest. I have an amazing team there. I've been a patient of theirs going on 5 years. I do have multiple autoimmune diseases and or disorders. But this particular tumor that we're talking about, we are still piecing together information. We don't have a game plan yet, but the discussions up until now, everyone feels comfortable in saying that the changes that have happened don't appear to be malignant. So that's comforting.
That's
on
great.
The one hand. But on the other, anything so mine is on my my L4 against my spinal cord. And so we've watched it for going on 5 years now. And at the beginning, when I was first told it was there, I was like, get it out. It didn't belong there. Get it out, get it out, get it out. Then after talking to multiple surgeons until it becomes life altering or has significant changes, let's just let it be. And we've done maintenance procedures to minimize the symptoms and the pain, which I've been fine with. However, when you see things like bone marrow changes and you see neurological symptoms that don't have explanations, or changes in your pain, like where it's at or how it presents itself, as it relates to your spine, is huge. So my doctors are talking with their higher ups and with their colleagues, and we're still kind of figuring things out.
Okay. Well, as you know, this is something that I went through 6 years ago. And so when I read your story about how you had been a cancer survivor for 6 years, and that's when you got this new news, it's just something that really struck a chord with me, because obviously as somebody who's been through it every day, you wake up thinking, could this happen again? Or is this going to happen again? Or what can I do to try and prevent this happening again? But I know the feelings like you're feeling, like when you mentioned this is something that you don't want to talk about too much with the people around you. You don't want to bog people down, but it's something that's always on your mind. So that's why I just wanted you to come on here and chat with us, and just know, if I have any advice, and you've been through this, right? But it sounds like your doctors, who sound amazing. I know UT Southwestern does some really great things, and I know people that have been there. They have a plan. They're going to figure out a plan for you. And the best thing that I could do was to trust in my doctors, was to stay positive, was to do the things that I love. And you find the people to surround you that you're not going to feel bad about talking about what's going on in your day-to-day life with. So you find those friends, you find that family. And I had like a situation with a friend where I think I talked about it maybe too much with her, and she just she wasn't relating. Yeah. And she got tired of it. But I was dealing with, hair loss and all of this, and this is what's going on. Some people worry about what their kids are doing for the day, and some other people worry about cancer. And I just wanted you to come on here and like have a safe space to talk with us, and to know that we are here for you and that we're here with you. And I hope you can listen to our show and maybe laugh some. But I just wanted to tell you, I wanted to meet you, and I wanted to say that you have our full support. And I have heard so many wonderful, like miraculous stories from my doctors, from people that have been through this. And there's no reason to think that you won't be one of those as well. And girlfriend, I know you listened to the ticket, and I know that I love your personality already. You're so super cute and fun, I can tell. So I just really wanted to have you on and just tell you all of those things face to face.
Well, and I want to tell you this too. So you think that you're being a burden. You think that you're being, one of my very dear friends within the last 2 weeks got diagnosed with breast cancer. She's terrified. Not terrified. She's handling it very well. I'm terrified. But the first thing I told her is, you have to tell me what to do. You have to tell me what to do as your friend. You have to tell me when it's okay. I don't want to call you too much. I don't want to call you every day. I don't want to call you, I don't want to send you flowers every day. I mean, what do I do? And she's like, you just need to chill out. Don't be scared of me. I'm not this fragile, duck now. Like you just have to keep being yourself. But so whereas you might think that you're being some sort of burden, like for me, you're not. No, like I want her to tell me, like boss me around every morning and give me a list of things to do so I can help ease her burden and ease what is on her mind. But I know, and then you feel selfish as a friend, like, oh, tell me what to do and I'll do it. Like it's just, but I will tell you this, you're the one going through this. Julie, you were the one that went through this. My friend is the one going through this. Like that, quite frankly, y'all should not give one F what anyone else thinks, because y'all are the ones fighting for 100%. Your GD lives. So tell everyone else, big fat middle finger, 2 of them all the way around, because this is your life you're talking about. You know what I mean?
It's kind of funny because the doctors at UT about a year and a half ago sent me to a geneticist. They wanted to study my DNA and see if we were missing any pieces, because I am such an enigma, as they like to call it. And the geneticist said, I don't think you're out of the woods cancer-wise. We want to send you to a cancer geneticist so that we can. And I was like, no, if it comes again, if I've already survived and went through it, like if it comes for me, it comes for me. Like, why live wondering, is that day today?
Right. Okay, so I want to ask you this too, and Julie very eloquently expressed what we want to be to you. So we want to be your fam, we want to be your friends.
We're
we
here
want to be your
for you,
support.
girl.
We whatever. I want to know, is there anything we can do to? Can we give a middle finger to the ex-boyfriend?
Yeah, let's talk about that situation.
I mean, can we?
Let's talk about that.
Can we be petty for a minute and be like, F you and the horse you
What
rode in
happened
on?
there, Crystal?
I am not above being petty, Betty.
Okay, so I mean, sometimes you just
Can
need
you
to do
explain
it.
this situation, because he's on my shit list?
Yeah.
So I will give him, the first disclaimer is he is 9 years sober, and mental health is his profession. However, he's, as I put it, relationship. I was the first significant girlfriend, the first woman he's ever lived with. He's never been married, has no kids, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay. Do you have children?
I do.
Okay.
I have 3 daughters.
Oh, wow.
Okay. How old?
They are about to hit birthday row, so it will be 10, 12, and 14.
Oh my gosh. Okay, you didn't put that on your email. I didn't know that about you. I love it though. You don't always have to talk about
14.
your kids. You can just talk about yourself sometimes.
So with that, it's not uncommon for him to kind of go through these little bumps where he still deals with like the self-sabotage or, doubting self-worth. And I kind of carried us through that. Well, as you know, moms and women, you can walk through the door and we know something's wrong
Yeah.
the instant you enter a room.
Yeah.
And Monday night he comes home and he deals with children primarily. So he deals with a lot. And I've learned, if he's quiet, just let him be. So Monday night, left him alone. Tuesday night, okay, like, are you not feeling good? Like, what's happening? No, I'm fine. Okay. Wednesday night comes, still acting weird, still not really saying anything. And obviously we didn't have any fights. We hadn't had any disagreements, nothing of the sort. And I believe it was like Thursday. I literally just said, like, look, I'm not moving until I know what's going on, because
Something's up.
my curious brain is not going to let either of us. So you might as well just tell me. And out of nowhere, he says, so-and-so from my past died on Monday, to which my immediate response was, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Is there a service? Do you want to go to the service? Like, what, how, who, what, how, what?
Yeah.
And he says, I don't know. And I asked how he died. And he said, well, he drank himself to death. And it just made me realize that life's too short and I don't want to be in this relationship.
Yeah. Well,
That's what he told you?
That's what he told me.
Oh, I thought you told
No,
him that.
that's what he told her.
No, that's what he told me.
So
and
he was going through a lot emotionally, and it sounds like he maybe made some sort of abrupt emotional decision based on what he was going through at that point in time.
But this isn't the first.
Yeah.
This isn't the second. This is like, I'm tired too. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
Well, if that's happened multiple times, I mean, listen, I am not a relationship expert. Yeah, by any stretch. But if you're our age, because how old are you?
34.
34.
Jesus, it's not our age. It's y'all's age. I'm older.
No, ma'am.
Well,
I had
anyway,
I had a complete hysterectomy at 23. Like I am full legit.
Oh, you'll have to come on our hysterectomy show. We're gonna have a hysterectomy show because I have to have one.
My thing is, if you're over 32, 33, and you're still breaking up multiple times, it ain't happening. It's not going to work. So what we want to do here,
he's not the right one.
He's not the right one.
So it's better to cut your losses.
Yes. And so we're putting it out there.
Yes.
Our first we did it with my mom. We're going to do it again because we're going to have our moms in next month.
We're still trying to set up Emily's mom.
Well, you're right. But we're going to have our moms in. But anyway, this is our first little bachelorette experiment because you watch it. I tried to. It's terrible.
Right. But the name of it is The Bachelorette. You get the concept.
And so here she is. She's Crystal. She's beautiful. She is obviously has a beautiful heart, as we've seen already on display. She has 3 beautiful girls.
She's a P1.
She's a P1. And now, whether she wants to admit it or not, she's part of the mom game family.
She is part of the mom game.
And you know what? Even if you're not looking for some serious stepdad thing, which people freak out about that. If you're just looking for someone cool to hang out with, seems like she's the girl. So, I mean, maybe
and I think there's a lot of men in that position.
I do too. And even if you have to do it over FaceTime in the beginning.
Well, and that was another reason I wanted to do this is because
distance.
I know nowadays it's hard to just go out and meet people. So if the dating apps maybe they work, and if they don't, then you're kind of SOL.
We are the new dating app.
We are the new dating app.
For one person at a time.
Yes.
And you're our first person. Congratulations.
Crystal.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
But when is the last time y'all have been out in the dating world?
Oh, honey, I don't want to go back. No, it's been a while.
I'd rather have 6 mammograms than go back.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, at least after a mammogram, it's worth it. There's a purpose.
Oh yeah, here we go.
You're getting something out of it.
Is it clear or no?
Well, and that's why sometimes you don't want to deal with all the stuff and the shit and the going out, and then you finally get somewhere, you get dressed up, you sit down, and you're like, well, I don't even like this. I can tell after 5 minutes I don't like this dude. So then you're just sitting there. So this is a good way to just showcase Crystal and your wonderful story. I can tell you're a wonderful person. Tell us real quick a little bit about what you like to do for fun.
I love travel. I'm a Texas girl, so I love my firearms and curved bow. All things Texas hockey and baseball.
Okay. Big points there.
Mm-hmm. We might know people who can help you get tickets to games.
My dogs are named Berea, Beasley, and Beltray, if that gives you a clue.
Up.
That's amazing.
You're amazing. You're a badass. There's some guy out there that's listening to all of this okay, I cannot wait to meet Crystal and just come get to know her and just chill. And you know what? If you want it to happen on the mom game, it can happen on the mom game. We can have it happen here if you don't want, if you would feel more comfortable with that. But you sound like somebody that is a ton of fun. I love your story. I'm glad you wrote in. I don't know. I'm just going to say that I think that the mom game is a better place for you than Why Today Doesn't Suck.
I do too. I completely agree. Those ass hats over there. Just kidding. No, I didn't mean that because when Hattie wants to get on Why Today Doesn't Suck.
It's funny that you chose that terminology because the significant other's brother and sister-in-law live next door. And that's their nickname. That's what I call them.
They live next door to you?
Oh, dear.
Yes.
Oh, dear.
You should move.
Emily says you should move. Or you can just ignore them, be I'm sure like you are, being the bigger person and all of that. Asshat is a good term that I think we don't use enough. Generally.
Such an underrated term.
I don't ever use it, and I'm going to put it in my repertoire because of today. Okay, good. Well, Crystal, I know you were nervous, and thank you for coming on with us and just being brave to talk a little bit about your story. I know it's hard. I know you're going through a lot right now. We want you to know that we're here for you. Anytime you just want to chat, it doesn't have to be live on camera. No, I'm here for you. I know Emily would say the same.
Absolutely.
And we're all about girl power.
We're glad
as silly as it sounds.
Yeah, we're glad you reached out. And we want you. You have to usher out the show with us like we do every.
Yes, but wait, virtual cheers too.
Oh, virtual cheers.
Because she said she had her
hardly have.
Crystal, hang in there, girlfriend.
Cheers.
Thank you. Cheers.
Love your way. And then we have to take a drink. Blushes. And then we do Mom Game Out. You got to put your
We do a
signs
double
up.
peace sign.
Double
It's
peace
really
sign.
cool.
Mom Game Out. Everybody, 1, 2, 3.
Mom game out.
Out.